Before I was in this industry, before I learned everything I did know, when my kids were little, I did get taken advantage of one time at, I'm not going to say the name of the location, but I was there and I dropped my vehicle off. I had a baby in one arm pushing a stroller. They seen mom, girl, idiot, young. I dropped my car off for inspection and they called me. They said I needed brakes. Gave me the price of like $2 something total. I said, okay, no problem, go ahead. I go to pick it up, walk 10 blocks with my kids in tow again. They're like, it'll be $650. I said, what? They were like, oh, well, we found other issues wrong. I said, you can't legally do that to me. Are you kidding me? They were like, well, you can't have your keys. I didn't want to cause a scene with my children, so I went home, waited for my husband to come home, said, watch the kids, I'm going back myself. I did not curse. I did not yell. I asked for a manager when they wouldn't do it. I stood up on the counter, crossed my arms, and said, I'm not moving until you get me a manager. Manager came out. I told them what happened. They gave me my keys. I didn't pay a dime. You're not going to take advantage of me, and I'm raising my daughter the same exact way.
Welcome to the Lion's Den, hosted by Lance Bachman.
Everyone, welcome to this edition of The Den. I have Trish Rosner here, owner of Lubemaster. That's right, a female-owned mechanic business. And she doesn't own one location, she owns 2 locations, and she's looking for a third now. She keeps growing. Trish, congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much, Lance. I appreciate it.
Tell the viewers who you are, because they have to be thinking, here's a woman, less than 2% of people that are mechanics or in the auto trade business is women.
Very true. When we first opened, customers would come up to the counter and be like, hey, can I talk to one of the mechanics? I felt a little kind of way about that. Took them a little bit to trust me. Now they just come right to me for the questions because I can answer them. I've learned a lot. It's something I never expected to do, but I love it, and I wouldn't change it, and I'm looking forward to growing and keep moving.
Okay, so tell everybody what Lubemaster is, because you think about Lubemaster. I told you what I would make my billboard if I was you.
Of course, it sounds dirty.
You know what I mean?
I like the name, it pops.
So tell everybody what Lubemaster is, where you're located, and how it all started.
All right, so, well, my husband used to be the manager through previous owners. He was there for about 30 years. Previous owner passed away 10 years ago. We bought it. At that point, we were averaging about 15 cars a day. We grew the business. We quadrupled it. At this point, it's worth 4 times of when we bought it. Then we bought the building. And then 3 months ago, we opened our second location, which is growing with more exposure. And just keep moving, keep hiring. Hard to find good employees, need more. But everything is going in the right direction.
How is it being a woman-owned business in Philadelphia, which Philadelphia is tough to deal with as general? I mean,
Yes, it is.
let alone being a woman in such a male-dominated space. Like, do people say things to you? Is it rude, or are they kind of cool? Or?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Once they know that I'm not just a dumb girl at the counter, they respect me a little bit more, but it does take a minute for them to get to that point. Once they know, and then we're good. And most of our clientele, I'd say 95% of them are great. The other 5%, it is what it is.
So you're opening your second location.
Yes.
I understand how you got into the first one. Someone passed away. Your husband's there for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's buy this. You guys are, literally 4 times the business. I mean, it's grown, right?
Yep.
Now you're taking a risk opening a second location, right? I mean, talk to us about that. Were you nervous? Did you say let it rip? I mean,
Very nervous. We looked at about 4 different businesses before we chose the one that we're at. They didn't seem to be right. They were either too big or too small, or not a good location. And most of our employees have families, and we're growing, and we like that they're happy. The more we grow, the more they grow. We want to grow everyone, just help keep people going. And it makes me feel good that like our business, we're not just looking out for ourselves. We got a lot of other people to look out for. And being a team like that is very important. Very, very important to us.
So you open a second location, and in your industry, let's be honest here, your sizes are mostly closing.
Yes.
What's separating you from your competition? If you don't mind me
Honesty.
asking? Just being honest.
Honesty. It's the littlest thing. We try our best at every angle. We might not be the very, very best mechanic, but we will always be the most honest, no matter what. Even everybody makes mistakes. If something, God forbid, should happen, we hold ourselves accountable. We just try to do the right thing. and be honest with the customers. If a customer comes in and says, hey, I need brakes, and we pull the wheels and we're like, no, you don't need brakes, and we tell them, that customer, we have that customer for life. Why would we just try to, some of these other shops might just try to say, oh yeah, I see money, and lie. It's not worth it. We want to keep our customers coming back for more and telling all their family.
Now, you have built this company up, and it's growing, and it's not going anywhere. What made you get your inspections license? And tell people what that is, because that's a big thing to go get. I'm assuming you're probably one of 2, 3, 4 females in the state of Pennsylvania that has this license?
Yeah, I don't know how many, but there was no women in my class, and I took my classes at Lincoln Tech, and I did it because I want to be able to do more than just work at the counter. And doing something like this, the more licenses a business has for this, the more cars they can do. So I can go to the other location or this location, and I can do them myself and not have to rely on somebody else. So it's a good thing. My daughter is a college student, and she says all the time how hard it is to study for things that she don't know anything about. So when I told her what I was doing, she was like, oh, just study like I studied. And I couldn't let her down. I had to kind of prove a point for a woman's perspective. So like, when I passed, I came out, I called her, I was crying and screaming. All her college roommates were screaming, all excited. So it was a pride thing too. So I am kind of excited about it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your growth, because we've talked, I met you probably about a year ago now, and you came through me through a referral, I believe. I think.
Yes, Pat.
Yeah, we do Faulkner stuff. So, yeah. So, you really know much about digital marketing.
No.
And you knew you were doing a lot of the wrong things with me, and you started talking right away.
Definitely.
But you knew that prior.
Yes.
I think you knew that prior.
That's why I came to you for help.
Can you talk to us about the experience between us and the last agency you were with? Can you have that conversation?
Of course, yes.
It's a bit. We're going to talk about marketing and how it's
Yeah.
helping you grow. But can you just talk about first?
Of
Hey,
course.
what was the difference? What's that difference been? Because you don't really deal with me. You deal with my team.
You have the best team in the world. To me, that's the most important thing because, all right, so we had a website drawn up. It was outdated. It was not interactive. It was not, even when I would say, can we do some updates? Oh yeah, just send me a picture. There was no nothing behind it. There was, and it was somebody I knew, so it was kind of, But then when I was told about your company and how much you've helped them, and the person who referred us is like a brother to me. So he's like, this is your best bet. They're a great company. They're going to hold your hand and walk you through this. And everybody here has. And it's been great. Kathy's my go-to girl. I love her. But everybody that I've dealt with here has been wonderful, above and beyond.
If you like this content and you're trying to grow your business, follow me at Lance Bachman and Lance Bachman Digital on Facebook. LFG, time to grow. Why is marketing so important for a business like yours? I mean, think about that. I mean,
Advertising, getting your name out there. If nobody helps you do it, how are people going to know about you?
What's the number one way people find you right now?
Google mainly. If
Google?
you're in the area looking for a mechanic or an oil change, and our reviews have seemed to be great.
And it seems we're also helping you with reviews, aren't we, right now?
Yes, very much so. Very much.
How many reviews have you gotten over the last few months?
I honestly don't know. I think we have a total of like 400 or 500. I don't know.
That's a lot of reviews.
Yes.
And if I'm correct, you're at like a 4.9 or a 4.8,
Yes.
correct? I mean, that's high, especially in your industry.
Yes.
So Google has social media helped you at all? And what do you think of social media? Because we're not like the age of, when we
Newspaper.
Yes, when we start. So can you talk to us about social media? How that's impacted your business?
Yes, definitely. Facebook, I was I like to make it personal too. Like I'll just post a picture of the guys doing something or a cool car that comes in. But the different ways that you guys have been putting it out there, whether we're hiring, whether it's learning, whether it's a blog, teaching, that's stuff that I didn't know how to do. So that definitely just keeps it moving. And exposure.
Trish, you really didn't know digital marketing until I met you. Now that you know and understand it, can you talk to me how digital marketing, your views might have changed or in your business? Can you talk about that?
Oh, definitely. This is an aspect of business that I really don't know a lot about. That's why your company has been number one for me, teaching me things and helping our company grow. And it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. The more with this digital advertising that you guys do for us, better it is for us, better it is for you. It's a win-win.
And what about, are people finding you online or customers or people that weren't your customers before,
Yes.
are new customers finding you?
Yes, definitely.
What are they saying to you?
They're coming in about reviews or saying that they seen this on Facebook or they seen this advertisement. So this is all kind of new to me, but
But you know it works.
yes, I know it's working. The numbers don't lie.
Have you thought about hiring women?
Of course.
So women should apply?
Of course.
I mean, you were telling me a story about an intern that you
Yes,
just
there was
tell me that
this
story?
sweet, yeah, there was this sweet young girl. She's about my daughter's age, 19, and it was funny because people have to wear masks obviously in Philly. So she came in and she had on, it looked like she was gonna rob me, and she was this little thing. It was like an orange thing. You could just see her eyes, and she was like, "Hello." I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Oh, I was looking to do an internship. I'm in Lincoln Tech," and I was like, "Oh, wonderful." So I started to talk to her, and she was telling me what she wants to do and that she wants to do mechanical, and I was like, yes, hell yes. I was like, we've never had an intern, but I'd definitely be interested in having you come aboard. And she said that she didn't have her license yet. I said, when you get it, get your butt over here. We're going to get you in. We can teach you. We can help each other.
You know, let's talk about that. You know, you're definitely a community person. Like,
Yes.
you're from Northeast Philly. You bleed Northeast Philly.
Yes,
you
I
love
do.
it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, listen. COVID's destroyed a lot of Northeast Philly businesses.
It's sad.
But you said you had your best year under COVID. Can you
Yes.
talk about that and
Of
what you were
course, yes.
hearing? And because that's surprising to me because people weren't driving as much. So why didn't you
Yes.
make oil changes and couldn't be as much car accidents? Because I know PI attorneys were looking for car accidents. Like
Oh, yeah.
Their volume was down during COVID. But yours was actually up.
It was crazy. When they did the shutdowns, we were trying to figure out if we were one of the businesses that were allowed to stay open or not. And we found out we were. Well, obviously at that time, everybody was scared. So we didn't make that decision on our own. As a team, we took a vote. Who wants to close? Who wants to stay open? Everybody was kind of scared. Everybody has kids, worried about them. So we voted to close. We closed for 1 week. 3 days in, we did group text. Who wants to open Monday? All hands went up. We were right back. So we only shut down for 1 week. During that week, we had about 150 phone calls, voicemails. When are you opening? When are you opening? We want to get in. It was kind of overwhelming. We're like, oh, crap. Doors, just people just coming in. And it was very weird because then when they started giving away the free money, people not working, you would think not as many with their cars. A lot of people were nurses or whatever. But when they started getting all this free money, they would come in and be like, oh, well, I want to get new tires. I want to get this. And we were honest. Oh, well, you don't need this. You might just need this. They're like, oh, it's COVID money. They were throwing money
So you
at
actually
us.
said COVID money.
Yes,
You actually heard people say multiple. It's
Yes.
COVID, just do it.
lots of times. COVID money, I'm just going to take care of my car. I'm like, okay, your call, but you don't need it. They just were throwing it.
You know, you're a hardworking person. You're staying open during these times. And I know you appreciate that money. But at some point, were you
Money
thinking to
runs
yourself,
out, or-
well, we got to pay this back somehow, or this is lunacy?
it
Were you
was-
thinking that or no?
It was crazy because I'm a big believer in karma. It's like the biggest thing. I'm not a very religious person, but I believe in karma. And if you do the right thing, good things will happen. And that's what we're just trying to continue to do by telling them that they didn't need it. I felt good. That's their decision, what they want to do. But we have customers for life that now send their children and their aunts and their uncles. And, oh, yeah, you know so-and-so. And I get to know our customers a lot because I am at that front counter. And that's the thing. Like, I never thought I would be in the mechanical business, but I love dealing with people. So getting to know our customers, too, is kind of cool when people are like, oh, my mom or dad has been coming here for years, and they come in and they know all about me. I know all about them. It's pretty cool.
Now, you keep saying the word family a few times.
Yes.
Does your daughter come work for you when she's done college?
She felt a little bit offended when we opened the second location. She's like, why don't you have me over there? I said, because I want you to do your thing. I don't want to make you do my thing. She's going to school to be a physical therapist.
Okay.
So she did offer when we opened our second location to go there, but then she was going to be going back away to school. So she's like, why not for a few months? I'm like, because this is not your dream. This is not your goal. You always want your kids to do better and do what they want. So it was better for her to keep at school, but she did say down the road she's thinking about it.
Well, I mean, I know what a physical therapist makes. I know what an entrepreneur
Yeah, I told her.
makes.
I told her I can't pay her what she'll make doing that.
You know, a lot of girls and women are afraid to go into a male-dominated space. Do you have fear of your daughter or yourself? Because you don't care. You remind me of Jackie Eldridge. I don't know if you know who she is.
I don't.
She's a Northeast Philly girl. You put her, 100 people. She's going to be herself. And if you don't like it, kick rocks. Right?
Exactly.
That response does not surprise me,
Yes.
right? Do you feel like it's hard being in those rooms with all these men? Or are you just so like, hey, listen, if you don't like it, beat it?
At this point now, that's how I feel. But before I was in this industry, before I learned everything I did know, when my kids were little, I did get taken advantage of one time at, I'm not going to say the name of the location, but I was there and I dropped my vehicle off. I had a baby in one arm pushing a stroller. They seen mom, girl, idiot, young. I dropped my car off for inspection and they called me. They said I needed brakes. Gave me the price of like $2 something total. I said, okay, no problem, go ahead. I go to pick it up, walk 10 blocks with my kids in tow again. They're like, it'll be $650. I said, what? They were like, oh, well, we found other issues wrong. I said, you can't legally do that to me. Are you kidding me? They were like, well, you can't have your keys. I didn't want to cause a scene with my children, so I went home, waited for my husband to come home, said, watch the kids, I'm going back myself. I did not curse. I did not yell. I asked for a manager when they wouldn't do it. I stood up on the counter, crossed my arms, and said, I'm not moving until you get me a manager. Manager came out. I told them what happened. They gave me my keys. I didn't pay a dime. You're not going to take advantage of me, and I'm raising my daughter the same exact way.
I love that story. I love that story. What would you say is probably one of the biggest lessons you've learned in your 20-some years of business now and growing?
I've learned a lot. It's kind of hard to narrow that down. I don't know. Honesty is the only thing I can keep going back to, because if you're not honest, you're going to fail. And people, like, you're going to get a bad review. You can't please everybody. You do your best. That's all you can really do. But you can't really please everybody. As long as you continue to be honest and true to yourself, it is what it is.
On the final roar, what would you say out there to a female that's thinking about becoming a mechanic or going into maybe the contracting business, things that are pretty much dominated by men, right?
Oh, yeah.
What would you say to that young female in the final roar? What advice would you give her?
Don't let anybody hold you back. Go for what you want. You can make a killing in all of those industries. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. I've seen there's a show on one of the car channels, and it's all women, and they're all beautiful women. They're not like any kind of stereotypical people. They're gorgeous ladies, and they are ATEC mechanics. I would love to have a shop like that. I would love it. It would be amazing. And they can do anything that men can do.
One last question. What's next for Lubemaster? And I love the name. I I told
Thank
you.
you.
I wish I would have made one SEO Lubemaster digital agency. Like you could play with it a lot.
Definitely.
What's next?
We want to expand. We want to grow. We want to keep moving forward, and maybe one day franchise.
Well, thank you for being on the Den.
Thank you,
Congratulations to you. All your success. Because I know how hard it is to build anything. And
you know.
and you're a true rags to riches story. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.